Pepsi today. It looks like it's being marketed in Japan right now because I don't know, the Asian printed dialect. I couldn't tell by looking, but I'm just assuming it's either China or Korea or Japan. So I'm going to assume it's Japan. But Pepsi has got a new Pepsi drink product, Pepsi, with a fiber that'll help you lose weight, I guess, and help clean you out. You won't need to take Metamucil. Just drink your Pepsi. And the only reason why we don't have it in the U.S. right now is simply because the FDA hasn't approved it yet. But can you imagine what Mayor Doomberg would say? Oh, no, you drink more than 16 ounces of this, you're going to get the runs. That's government.
You said in the Rose Garden, the day after the attack, it was an act of terror. It was not a spontaneous demonstration. Is that what you're saying?
Please proceed, Governor.
It is in response to a video, a film. This is in response to a video.
Internet video that we had nothing to do with.
That was spontaneous? Was it a planned attack? Was there a terrorist element to it?
This is a response to a hateful and offensive video.
The video and its influence on the protests that occurred in Cairo and Benghazi. In response to this video, it was the video that caused the unrest in Cairo, that precipitated some of the arrests in Benghazi. It was sparked by the reaction to this video. The video was a precipitating cause to the unrest, specifically in Libya. Might take advantage of a situation that was brought about initially as a response to the video in question.
Natural protests that arose because of the outrage over the video.
You are totally correct that they spent 2 weeks telling us this was about a tape and that there was this riot outside the Benghazi consulate, which there wasn't.
Natural protests that arose because of the outrage over the video.
I was in chronic pain, and my family struggling to make ends meet, food and gas prices going up, even keeping my job was iffy. Then I learned about a new miracle drug made in Washington, D.C., Spenditol. Spenditol is Washington's answer to all the painful problems Americans face. How to borrow $800 billion for a stimulus that didn't create jobs or fix the economy? Spenditol.
Spenditol is not for everyone. Side effects may include a mountain of government debt piled on our kids, a sudden loss of freedoms, higher prices for everything, leaving our kids a lesser America than we had. Ask your doctor or congressman if your conscience is strong enough for Spenditol.
And it's so popular in Washington, we have to import trillions more of it from China. Spenditol makes you feel better now and pushes off the really bad stuff till later, for them to deal with.
Call the White House and Congress. Tell them, stop spending it all.
Feeling lonely this holiday season? Looking for little human interaction? Do you want to feel contact in certain special places?
Then why not go through security at an airport?
The TSA.
TSA agents are ready and standing by to give you a little something extra to feel thankful about this holiday season.
The TSA.
What are you waiting for? I want to check under your testicles.
Spending time with a TSA agent couldn't be easier. Simply book a flight departing from any American airport. When selected for a full body scanner, say no. You'll be pulled aside by a TSA agent, and that's when the fun begins. And you never know who your agent will be.
It could be me.
Or me. Or even me.
But it's probably gonna be us. Take off your damn shoes.
The TSA. It's our business to touch yours.
Welcome to the Bureau of Womanhood Conformity. Independent thoughts are considered subversive because all must agree with our leader.
When it comes to women, preventative care should include coverage of contraceptive services such as birth control.
You see, if you don't believe government should pay for your birth control, you're not a real woman. Womanhood denied. If you refuse to accept that pregnancy is a punishment, you're denied as well.
I don't want them punished with a baby.
If you don't believe that abortions should be allowed for any reason, if you don't believe in aborting a child for being the wrong gender, and if you don't believe that stay-at-home mothers aren't real workers, you are not a real conformed woman.
His wife has actually never worked a day in her life. His wife has actually never worked a day in her life.
Finally, for your safety, if you oppose mandatory government health care, you will die.
They will be voting to say that women can die on the floor.
These standards and regulations were formed after our glorious victory in the war on women. Thank you for your cooperation and your conformity.
You're listening to The Rod Eccles Show.
And we are back. Yes, indeed. You know, we constantly get this whole thing that about how Republicans and conservatives are racist. Do we not? You know, Republicans and conservatives in general, they're racist, they're homophobic, they're womenophobic, they have this war on women. Well, guess what, folks? Wyoming, the state of Wyoming, has elected a non-white person to Congress. Yes. They have elected Lynn Hutchings. Now, for those of you who do not know, Lynn Hutchings is a nearly 50-year-old, so she's almost, an old woman, almost. She's 49. 49-year-old female black Republican. Let me repeat those stats for you. The state of Wyoming, in her district, has elected a 49-year-old female black Republican to represent them in Congress. Not only did they elect their first black official, they elected their first female black official. And so, they made history. They got 2 for 1. You want to talk about history. They got 2 for 1 in that one. And not only did they elect her, but they did so, she garnered 72% of the vote. 72%. 7-2. That's almost 3/4 of the vote went to her. This 49-year-old black woman who happens to be a Republican. Now, has any Democratic female who's black ever garnered 72% of the vote? I don't think Maxine Waters has. But 72%. Well, it's Wyoming, Rod. It's what? No! Wait a minute. It can be Wyoming, but remember, there are a bunch of white people up in Wyoming, white Republicans. They're racist and homophobic and anti-woman, remember? There ain't no way in hell that if that were all true, would this 49-year-old black female Republican have won with 72% of the vote. Just another liberal lie. And when you point this out to liberals, hey, explain this. They don't answer you. It's like, well, this person over here didn't win because they were black, Rod. Well, you're being a total douchebag, excuse the expression, because you're avoiding the topic and the subject at hand, and basically your argument has just been shot out of the water. Because if what you say is true, then this woman wouldn't have even had a choice. She wouldn't have had a chance. But yes, Lynn Hutchins, Hutchins, Cheyenne, Wyoming. Now, for the life of me, I don't know why anybody lives up in Wyoming. There's not much in Wyoming. I've never been to Wyoming. Never been to Montana or the Dakotas or Wisconsin. And, I think I would like Wyoming. No. I'm sorry for those listeners who live in Wyoming. I'm not trying to diss your state. I just don't have an interest in going to Wyoming. But Montana, to see, the Montana Big Sky country, that would probably be very nice. That might be a nice trip. But does Wyoming have, what's in Wyoming? A tourist attraction-wise. If you're going to go on vacation, you got to do something touristy, I guess. I don't know, even if you're just going to the parks, national parks. But what's in Wyoming? I don't know. I've never really looked up why. Look, I don't know everything. That's the great thing about this. We have a big country here. We have a large union. There's a lot to explore. There's something for everyone. But Wyoming just hasn't come up on my radar as a place I want to visit. Kind of like California. But the opportunity came up and arose, and there I'm off to for a 4-day weekend to San Francisco. The original intent is they wanted to go to the southern half of the state, like to Los Angeles and San Diego. I said, hell no, I'm not going no matter what. I have no interest in going. But we can go to Hollywood. So what? I don't care about. You know who's in Hollywood? A bunch of phony cretins. I could care less about Hollywood. At least with San Francisco, there was a Presidio, there was the Golden Gate Bridge and Golden Gate Park, and then there was the Alcatraz, and which was, and it was a fairly close proximity to the giant redwoods. I didn't get to see those this time around, but I'm going to go back so I can see those. And not to mention, you also have wine country, Silicon Valley and Napa Valley. We didn't make it to the Napa Valley region this time either. But hey, I did get to enjoy some local wine in a very expensive beautiful little town called Sausalito. $28 for the bottle. That's the most expensive bottle of wine I've ever purchased. Because most of the bottles of wine I purchase are, if I, they're around the. I'm fairly cheap when it comes to wine. They're around the $10 mark. And sometimes if it's just an everyday table wine, I might buy that real. Was it Golden? Speaking of Golden Gate, might buy. Was it Golden Gate? You can get at the grocery store or at Walmart. I think it's like $4 a bottle. Sometimes I'll go that cheap. But on average, $9-10. Never. So it's almost 3 times my average. It was a good bottle of wine. Could I afford to drink it weekly? Sure. Will I? No. If I buy what I had there for here, and you know what? I did look in that's actually about the going price. It's about of course, because it was in Sausalito at a restaurant, it was slightly higher. But here, that bottle of wine, I looked in the grocery. It is available, and it's $21.98, $22 for that bottle. But it was $28 there. So, because it's tourist, it's a tourist town, what have you. But now there might be another tourist attraction in Wyoming. They might put up a statue in honor of the first female black Republican representative in the state of Wyoming. So Congratulations to Wyoming. Not that it's, frankly, I even hate bringing it up.